Welcome back, young Zach. Ta-da!
Hello.
What are we here to talk about, Zach?
I kind of want to talk about Planet Coaster 2.
I mean, it was great, wasn't it?
It was great. That's kind of what I'm here for. But I also have some Elite Dangerous stuff to talk about.
Don't get us lynched, right? We're going to be with some of these people next weekend, so let's be nice. Right, okay, come on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff to talk about, mostly around the sort of engineering rebalance and the sort of great work the dev team have been doing there. And then we'll have some information about the Type 8 and some other bits and bobs that are coming along with that.
I mean, engineering has been a hot topic, I think, for a long time. When you were on Elite as a community manager, now here you are as product manager. So what's happening with engineering? Lay it on us, Zach. Now, there's a lot of numbers here, chat, and Zach may have to refer to his notes, so bear with us, all right?
Producer Adam has kindly given me some notes straight over here, so if you see me looking this way a lot, guess what I'm doing. But yeah, so I think the crux of it is, yes, we've seen a lot of feedback over the years about engineering. The dev team have had the chance now to look at that and sort of take on that feedback and figure out what works best from our point of view as well. And what we've got here is a sort of We've had a look at the numbers and some of the sort of mechanics and then tweaked them a little bit, we now think it's going to be in a much sort of stronger place, and ultimately, hopefully, a lot of you commanders will be much happier and sort of get a much cleaner and quicker experience out of your engineering. So, I think the first thing worth discussing on that is we're just going to outright increase the number of materials that you're getting across the board from various sources. So, we've increased material availability at grade 4 and 5 farming locations.
This is why we need notes, right?
Yeah, so basically we're increasing the number of sources of materials, and in some cases the payout per source. So I believe if producer Adam updates my notes,
Adam,
he's already failing me.
Sorry, I'm going to give you a little peek behind the mirror here, chat. Adam's trying to give us a note, which I'm vigorously nodding, but he's not looking at me nodding to say that I understood what he said. And he's not updated Zach's notes, so it's fine. It's okay. So we can get it.
Don't worry, chat. I've got a lot of numbers. So basically, in the past, I think you'd be looking at getting between 3 and 6 fragments of micro resources in total per site. We've now increased that to about 30 to 100 micro resources.
So a significant increase.
It's a lot more. So in terms of the number of sources too, you'll actually see crashed anacondas with more exploding canisters. Jameson's crash site will have additional scan sites too. So you're basically just going to be getting a whole lot more engineering materials. That's kind of not it though. So I see chat is already going crazy, but we're literally scratching the surface.
Yeah, I mean,
Should we stop?
Leave it there.
Leave it there.
That's enough. That's enough. But it's not just that. So it's missions as well we're looking at, right? So that's one of the things that people have asked about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously a lot of our players actually enjoy the sort of farming process of going and getting materials, but you can also get materials via missions. Obviously, players want to engage in missions and feel rewarded for what they're doing. So we've also increased the engineering mats you'll get across the board from missions too. So depending on the mission or material limit you could get, I think it's now up to 24 materials. I think it changes depending on the type of material it is, but we've sort of increased that dramatically.
Yeah, so if we have a look down on our notes again.
Yeah.
Adam's sent us down a river. We're drowning, Adam. There's too much data. We've got the materials. Once you've got them though, I guess that's the next question, right?
Yeah, I mean, alongside the mission rewards, we've also done some tweaks to the sort of Thargoid war balance, which we'll talk about as well shortly. But yeah, it's what are you going to do with those? Yeah, we've increased the amount of materials you're getting, which is sort of phase 1. But what about, what do you do with them? I think we thought the requirements were too high in Odyssey in terms of how many materials you needed. And I think in the sort of base game or for ship recipes, it was too random when it came to getting your sort of engineered upgrades done. So I think we've kind of addressed all of this. The first thing we've done, I think the major thing we've done is we've removed the random element from the sort of spins when you're doing your...
I can hear the relief. I can hear it. I can almost hear it. But
yeah. So now instead of having when you go to spin, you've got a sort of randomized chance in the past what your sort of engineering results would be. If producer Adam scrolls down, in fact, I actually think we've got a nice little table that producer Adam can put on the screen. Don't worry, chat. I know we had our sort of Planet Coaster stuff, which was all really fancy. I'm here with the nerd data.
This is the stuff that's really going to get you going.
Yeah, this is what you guys want, right?
There
chat?
are numbers and percentage signs here.
Yeah,
I'm already invested.
I think the gist of it is, as I said, it's no longer random. If you're rank 5 with the engineer, it will be 1 spin for a grade 1 blueprint, 2 spins for a grade 2, and so on. If you're less than grade 5, it will be more spins. But it won't be a gamble, it won't be random. You can see there on the grid, if you're less than 5, how long it will take, basically what percentage of progress you'll make with every sort of spin that you do. I guess spin is now an outdated term, but you know what I mean? That sort of progress on the circle.
It removes that frustration as well. If you, I guess, having spent a lot of time trying to get sort of the materials you need, then to not get the result you want is deeply frustrating. Yeah. Whereas we want people to find the end game, which engineering really is just a bit more of a, it's predictable and you know what you're working towards, and it allows people to set goals, right? Yeah,
I think that's the sort of crux of it. We wanted to make sure that our players felt like they were being rewarded for the efforts they were putting in, and it wasn't 100% down to chance, right? That's a key piece of feedback we've seen across all of the feedback from a lot of different groups that we've sort of heard from on engineering. So that was one thing we've done. Again, not all, we've still got some stuff to talk about. So speaking of the engineers themselves, we've also changed the unlock requirements on some of them. So I believe, producer Adam has brought on another table there. So we've basically changed these 4 here. I think let's just go over some of I think you can see, chat, quite clearly we've just, for the most part, reduced the numbers required for these engineers so that you can get access to them much quicker and easier. That's what we want players to do. There you go. Now you can get your rewards quicker from the game itself, and you don't actually have to have as many of them to progress with what you want to do in the first place.
But I think a lot of this comes down to like assessing and valuing our players' time in game, right? How we're spending their time, allow them to do stuff that it can be challenging, but the reward is targetable and predictable, so you know what you're going to get. And again, it's valuing the time and removing some of that frustration. I think we had some feedback on, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, just a bit.
And I think you said at the start here, we're not saying this is going to be perfect straight out the bat. We're pretty close to it, we feel. But of course, we're going to be listening to feedback when this goes out and see if what we've done has landed correctly, right? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, we're happy with it. Our testing internally, we're really happy with where it is. Obviously, as always, we do listen to play it, but we want you guys to sort of get this now and test it and sort of see how it goes. But we're in a space where we're actually quite happy with the way it's turning out so far.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
You mentioned Odyssey. Can you talk a little bit more about the specific Odyssey changes you've done as well?
Yeah, so I think the changes we're making are actually a lot more sort of extensive in Odyssey. The goal is to allow players to use multiple suits properly. I think in the past you kind of felt like you had to focus solely on one, purely just due to how hard it is to get the mats and progress. Like you really had to say, okay, I've got this many hours to play the game, I'm just going to focus on one suit.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, the recipes for Odyssey Engineering have had their material amounts reduced. So combined with getting more rewards for missions and sort of needing to spend less, it should make it easier to really kit out your sort of Odyssey gear as well. And another thing that we've done that producer Adam has got another table for is...
He's been a table-making wizard.
Yes, he's
Look at him go.
Very handy, yeah. These are the capacity for materials on suits. We've basically upped the capacity, which I know was a pretty big request from our players. You can now carry more materials in your suits. Obviously, the Maverick suit will allow you to carry more because that's kind of what we want it to be there for. But you'll see, all the other suits as well have had an increase in capacity, so...
I did just see Commander Alexa saying that they had 8 suits already, Artemis suits. And of course, because you're always out exploring and finding various bits of biologics to find on the planet surface. I know your work, Alexa.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, sorry, Zach, I was derailing. I just saw a comment and I had to bring it up.
No, that's fair enough. I think that is kind of the general changes that we've made in this rebalance. But we have also done some changes to the ongoing Thargoid War. So obviously,
I was going to say, you mentioned that. So what's happening there?
Yeah. So back in 18.6 or 06, we overhauled the system initially.
Don't like those names. Should do something about those names.
We'll do something about them. Don't worry. That's coming up. We basically made the Thargoid War more combat focused and give you better credit rewards for what you were doing. Obviously, we know not all of our players are keen on combat, so there were other things you could get rewards for, like Titan pod rescues and stuff like that. We also rebalanced the overall difficulty of engaging in the system surrounding the Titans, and made the pushback from those war efforts around Aspire much more dynamic, so you could feel the effects without having to wait for the Thursday reset. And if producer Adam gives me some more information. Oh yeah, we did a partial rework to the Counter-Strike system. There's so many terms that I've got to get in my head right now.
You mean you don't know them all?
Yeah,
just straight away?
Everything.
And all the numbers, the percentages, and the changes?
It's hard.
Zach, come on.
So yeah, the Counter-Strike system basically gave you new ways to fight Thargoids in their occupied space. So there was a new mechanic that basically allowed you to defend ports, which humanity had reactivated within those systems. There was actually a lot more detail into that rework. I think producer Adam might be able to drop a link in the chat right now, or the mods. Have a look at that if you want to sort of get into the nitty-gritty of the numbers we did there. But there is more. So what's changing with the next update when it comes to the Thargoid War? So as we get closer and closer to the potential end of the Thargoid War, we're making some adjustments alongside a sort of wider rebalance that I talked about to give you some more rewards engineering-wise. So from the next update, contributing to taking a Thargoid-controlled or invasion system will reward engineering materials upon system completion. So again, I'll read so I get this right. All grade 4 raw and grade 5 encoded/manufactured engineering materials are eligible as rewards. So you can also trade them down to whatever materials you need, which is really sort of important. And the sort of rewards are determined by percentile contribution. So if you're used to community goals, it's that kind of thing. Tier 1 will get 120, Tier 2 will get 60, Tier 3 will get 18. And they're kind of picked randomly from the different categories we have, so raw, encoded, manufactured. So you could end up with 120 materials total. We will start counting this contribution from... I'm struggling.
So you weren't lying when you said you'd made notes. Chat, I had no idea he'd made these many notes.
I'm trying, chat. The contribution will start from the next update, so not right now, from the next update. And importantly, your contributions will not be reset with each sort of weekly reset. So that means you can basically, by contributing even a sort of small amount to the Thargoid War, you can actually receive a passive income of engineering materials. So obviously combined with the changes we've made there and the sort of general rebalance, you're going to get at some really nice sort of income of your engineering materials. So I think if you want to get involved, go for Titan 4. I think that's the current target that our players are going for. So there's loads of information and great content creators out there to get you started. Right? Yes, I think 3 or 4, something like that.
So, well, let's see what happens with the old Thargoids. And they're taking a bit of a pasting, and I've been asked to fly an attack. And I know, McCann, you've asked me plenty of times. In the words of Jack Sparrow, I will do it when I find time, and also I'm waiting for the opportune moment, Sammy. So I'll do it when I can. Essentially, I'll do that. But yeah.
Good.
So that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour of the changes. There's a lot going on. We're getting asked when the next update is. Is there anything to share on that, Zach?
Sure, yeah. So the next update, as you probably all aware, is the Type 8. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to change how we're naming updates. Like you sort of alluded to, you got ahead of us. So we're saying goodbye to calling things just outright update 16, 17, 18. Like it got a bit confusing, I think, for our sort of new and returning players to understand exactly what they were getting in this new update, right? So what we're actually going to do is give our bigger updates a name, so it's much more clear to those players. So Adam, please show us. Obviously, you might guess already, chat. The next update is going to be called, creatively,
the Type 8 update.
Yep. And obviously, I can tell you the Type 8 update will be releasing on the 7th of August. So
nice. 1
week from today.
So a week's time.
Yep.
Very soon.
Coming up very soon. And that obviously means that on the 7th of August, the Type 8 will be available in early access via the sort of ARC store. It will also include the rebalance we just talked about to engineering, so you've only got 1 week to wait for all of that. We'll have 2 new pre-built ships, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the Python Mark II will become available in-game for Odyssey players for credits. So if you've been unable to pick up the Python Mark II so far, next week you'll be able to get your hands on a new ship, which is really great.
Cool. All right, so you've mentioned the new ship.
Yeah.
Anything else you can share about the Type 8? It's coming in, so you mentioned some pre-builds as well. So
yeah, so let's go through the sort of what we're calling as wave 2 of our sort of new ships and pre-built ships coming into the game. So obviously we've got the Type 8 standard, which will be the ship and the shipyard unlock, exactly the same as if you bought the Python Mark II.
Have you got a picture of the Type? I mean, there's a Type 8 there.
But there you go. There's a nice sort of look at the Type 8. One of my favourite ships in the game, I think. Like
it's just because it's just. I said it. We're going to go over old ground here. But it just looks so different.
Yeah. We've talked about this on stream now for probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
It's a great. As someone said, Tonka space station. Did you remember the Tonka?
I remember Tonka. Yeah.
That you're right. Actually, it reminds me of like the old Tonka toys I used to have. I love it. So yeah, that's the basic sort of model. We'll also have the Stellar Edition. So this will come with a high-spec transport loadout. Increased storage capabilities and a reinforced hull, as well as the, I think that's the haulage stripe red paint job and the Aero ship kit.
Yep.
So I think that one's looking pretty cool.
And then next up, if we scroll down on the notes there,
Adam. Don't worry, I think I know this one. It's the next.
All right.
I'm getting there now.
Fancy pants.
Yeah, I've got through the numbers. I've got through the data.
Easy part now.
Yeah, this is the easy part. So the next one is the passenger jumpstart. So passenger sort of missions are.
We asked a lot about passenger ships.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of players who want to get involved in Elite Dangerous and just want to have a nice chill time. Like sort of moving passengers
bit
around.
Of sightseeing.
Yeah, a bit of sightseeing. Yeah. So this is our passenger jumpstart. It's a Beluga. It's obviously outfitted for luxury long range, equipped with, I believe, an increased range SCO capable FSD and luxury cabins, and it's got the ship kit and the...
Someone's put, passengers are chill. I know the passengers moan a lot. All right, sorry.
Yeah, they do.
Chill, the passengers can stress. You chill.
Yeah, you chill. The passengers are, very enthusiastic, let's say.
Yes. They're keen to be where they want to be.
Yeah. And that's got the nice United Marine blue paint job. I really like it. It's almost like a ferry, if you book a cruise or something. That's the kind of vibe we're going for. And then the next one
This looks cool. This is the one I was like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, so this is the Bounty Hunter Jumpstart, and it's a Vulture. So equipped with sort of high-spec bounty hunting combat, Grade 1, 2 engineered weaponry, Grade 2 engineered core internals, Crossfire, I believe that's called, the paint job.
Yep.
And a nice 16-piece ship kit as well. So you want to get into your sort of beginner-level bounty hunting and up to the sort of mid-level. Here you go.
I spent a lot of time in a Vulture actually when I was doing my combat. I still call it scabbing when I used to go into a high res zone or a medium res zone rather, and then I'd wait for the police to do all the hard work, and I would dip in with my little Vulture and do a couple little rounds and get the bounty. And that's what I used to when I started out playing Elite. That's what I used to do.
That's sort of like the best bit about Elite, right? Is how you can create your own gameplay. Like you can kind of approach things how you want to, and you get rewarded. So
I've said it many times. There is no right way to play Elite Dangerous, just your way. And if you're having fun, then you're playing Elite Dangerous the correct way.
Exactly. Okay.
Just to clarify, chat was asking, when is it coming out?
The 7th of August.
7th of August.
A week.
1 week
from today.
It'll be in early access, and then I think it's early access for 3 months, and then it'll be like the Python, and then it'll be in-game for credits for Odyssey players. Right?
Yeah, so exactly what we did for the Python Mark II, you can expect for the Type 8. Speaking of, I believe we've got some new paint jobs coming as well on the 7th, or around the 7th for the Python Mark II. I believe this is called the Snakebite, and then we've also got the Tactical.
That's the one I like. Yeah. That's the one I like.
Yeah, and I think we've got one more as well. Producer Adam, thumbs up, thumbs down. Yep. So we've got a few more. These are just some examples. So, if you're just getting yourself a Python Mark II for the first time and you want to,
if you're picking up for credits in game, it's there. But that's not all though, right? This is also cool.
Yeah, this is also cool. Is Producer Adam going to thumbs me up if I go straight to the next Python thing, or do we need to talk about Type 8 first? We need to talk about Type 8 first, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, okay.
Back to the new ship.
Venice, you said, will he give you a thumbs up or not? And he
just nodded.
So he did what no one knows what Producer Adam's doing today. He's just in a whirl. He's
gone rogue.
He's gone rogue.
Oh, he's now giving me a thumbs up. Let's just go straight to it. So, if you are a new commander, getting yourself a Python, maybe you want to get a new ship kit for it. Or if you've already got the current ship kit, maybe again you want a new one. So this is the Fang ship kit, and I think this is probably one of the best ship kits we've ever made. Just in terms of like pure visual aesthetic of it.
It looks angry. It does look very Count Dracula.
Yeah, and this shot that Adam's just put on, you can see right at the front we've got those little sort of fangs and the nice little headlights that you can turn on and off.
Lights there, and they're functioning, right?
They're functioning. We know everybody loves those ship kits that have got a little bit of functionality on the lights. So Fang will also be available. still probably around the release of the next update. We'll obviously let you know fully when it comes out.
That's very ominous.
It looks like you do a lot of damage.
And I think that's the point. It looks great. And then last but not least, you saw one paint job for the Type 8. I think, Adam, just if you can just sort of whiz through some of the other sort of colour variations we've got for the Type 8. That's the one that will be on the Stellar. And then we've got some different colours, and we'll have some, obviously, guys, we'll have some other paint jobs coming for you for the Type 8. But yeah, that is everything.
That's a lot about all the stuff in the game. You say, like, engineering rebalance is huge. And in fairness, like, shout out to the development team on that, because they're working on a lot of stuff. There's still the other feature we haven't talked about, and we haven't forgotten it, by the way, chat. We're just holding on to that until we want to talk about it. Still coming this year. Don't panic. We're just being a bit tight-lipped because we're like that.
As is Power Play.
As is Power Play. They're still releasing ships, and they're doing all the tweaking of the engineering stuff and the Thargoid War and all that good stuff. So huge love to that development team on Elite. We know how hard you work, and it is appreciated. Can we get some 07s in chat, actually, for the dev team? Because they are so passionate about this game. So, yeah, love to the development team working on Elite. But outside of the game...
Yes. Outside of the game. So, if you're excited by everything that you've seen there, and you want to get a bit of a sneak peek about you want to see the Type 8 in action, you want to see some bits about the engineering rebalance, maybe the pre-builts. Good news, our Elite Partner Program Early Access kicks off today at 7:30 UK time. So that's in about, 15 minutes?
15 minutes?
I think so. Look at my watch.
We're running late.
So basically, after this show is finished, you'll be able to swap over to your favourite Elite content creators and check out the Type 8 in action.